You're watching Metallica Mania, and we're back. I'm back with another video. Um, Today we have a special video. Wanted to get this one out in January. It was a video that I wanted to do in remembrance of Alexi from Children of Bodom. It was very inspired me to pick up guitar. One of the earliest extreme bands that I got into, and it hurt when I heard that he passed away. And I just thought, let's reflect on some of the most amazing discographies that I've ever seen. They have some of my favorite albums ever. Some of my biggest memories has ties to some of these albums. And a lot of memories of my childhood have a lot to do with this band. And yeah, let's get into it. At number 10 is an album I really don't. I never got into this album. It was probably I think it was the first one I got on CD, so it was quite a bummer when I picked it up when it was new and just didn't really like it too much, which was Halo of Blood. Yeah, there's some great songs on here like Bodom, Blue Moon, The Days Are Numbered, All Twisted, One Bottle and a Knee Deep. Halo of Blood, I like the title track. It has a lot of black metal feel to it, but yeah, songs like Wasted Skin, Scream for Silence, Transference, Dead Man's Hand on You, Damaged Beyond Repair kind of fall flat, and they're not my favorite. They're not my favorite tracks at all. I prefer a lot of their older albums over their newer ones. So yeah, it's number 10. Number 9 is the one right after it. I Worship Chaos. The last one was 7 out of 10, which is kind of low, but I Worship Chaos, which is perfect. The only one that is perfect without rip rating. I Hurt, my Bodom, I Am the Only One, Morgan Horns, Prayer for the Afflicted, I Worship Chaos, Hold Your Tongue, Suicide Bomber, All for Nothing, and White Earth Shine. To say this album, it's I think drop B tuning. Most of it's drop B tuning. Has a weird feel to it, and it sounds more of like what a Monomarth would do with how their guitar sound on this. It's not something I would expect from Children of Bodom. It's kind of it's my second least favorite, definitely, because all their other albums are way better than this. Songs like I Hurt that starts the album off is good. Morgan, Horns, I Worship Chaos, title tracks, Suicide Bomber, Hold Your Tongue, All for Nothing, and Wider Shine. Those songs are great. Everything on here is great, but it's just not up to par with some of the older albums. Yep. And I'm gonna get some hate from the next one. This one is a kind of one that I kind of played to death, but Are You Dead Yet? At number 8. First one with rip rating, 10 out of 10. Perfect. Yeah, everything on here is fantastic. I like everything on this album. The solos are great. The keyboards are great. Everything is great. It's just not as good as their other ones. It's got stuff like Living Deadbeat, Are You Dead Yet? If You Want Peace for War, Punch Me I Bleed, In Your Face, Next in Line, Bastards of Bodom, Trash Slosh and Strung Out, and We're Not Gonna Fall. This album kicks your ass and keeps kicking it until it's over. Definitely one that I recommend some new listeners to get into this band through if you haven't checked these guys out yet. It's kind of sad of what happened to Alexi. It was an inspiration to me for picking up guitar. I probably would never pick up guitar if it wasn't for him and his amazing fucking riffs all the way through their discography. Number 7, Something Wild. another 10 out of 10 rip rating. All these are going to be 10 out of 10 rip ratings. I should stop saying it because, well, everybody knows it is. Dead Night Warrior, amazing song. I love Dead Night Warrior. Such a great song. In the Shadows, this one has a huge black metal feel. This is when they went to more of a melodic death, power metal, and black metal mix. Red Light in My Eyes, Part 1. Red Light in My Eyes, Part 2. Lake Bodom. Amazing song, Lake Bodom. The Nail. Touch Like Angel of Death. This album is the worst production quality of any of their albums, but it's good. It's amazing. I love the album. It's got nothing bad on it. Number 6. A lot of people are going to be mad that this one is a perfect score for me. A lot of people hate this album with a passion, which is Blood Drunk. They're one right after Are You Dead Yet? I always thought when I was a kid that this album was always better than Are You Dead Yet? I always thought this was like one of them that I always went to when I wanted to listen to Children of Bodom. Songs like Hellhound on My Trail, Blood Drunk, Lobotomy, which that's the one that has Bodom in it. So spoiler alert. One Day You Will Cry, that's probably the worst one on here, but still up to par with the other ones. Smile Pretty for the Devil, Time I Wrote, Done With Everything, Die for Nothing, Banned from Heaven, and Roadkill Mornings. Oh, this is an ass-kicking album, just like its album that was before it. So yeah, not a lot of people like this album. I personally like this album and go back to it pretty often when I listen to Bodom. It's one of the ones I go to. Next is number 5, and it's their... Everybody says this one's their worst. Reckless, Relentless, Forever. For me, it's top 5 material. It's fantastic. I love every minute of this album. There's nothing that is very off par about this album. It is all just insanely good stuff. I don't have a copy of it. I couldn't really find one. Every time I find a copy of this album anywhere, it's destroyed usually. Starts off with a song called Not My Funeral. Great start. Shovel Knockout. Round Trip to Hell and Back. Pussyfoot Miss Suicide. Oh, the song's so good. Relentless, Reckless, Forever. Ugly. Probably my least favorite. Ugly. Cry of the Nihilist. Was It Worth It? And North Pole Throwdown. Kind of a fun song, almost. Yeah, these songs are kind of off the norm, and it's kind of weird for Children of Bodom to be doing songs about like these kind of songs, but it just works. I don't know what it is about it. They were kind of changing their stuff up, and then they went through... it was fan backlash because they weren't doing their old style, and they tried to do it on Halo Blood, and it really didn't work out too well. Next one is their last. It's going to be their last album, which was Hexed. I love this album, actually. I reviewed it a couple of years ago as like a 9 out of 10. It's moved up for me, definitely. I've definitely come to like this album a lot more than I did back then when it came out. It grows on you. This album will grow on you, and maybe like 15 listens down the road, you'll like this album with a passion. This album is fantastic down the road. Starts off with a song called This Road. It's an ass kicker. The first song is an ass kicker, and it's awesome. Under Glass and Clover, Glass Houses, Hecate's Nightmare, Kick in the Spleen, Platitudes and Barren Words, Hexed, Relapse, Say Never Look Back, Soon Departed, and Knuckle Duster, which is an EP song. It was back in the day. It's definitely the best of their Drop B albums. Has that it's their heaviest record. Just to say that it's their heaviest album. Reckless Relentless Forever was probably be their second heaviest album that is up to par with some of the other stuff. So yeah, this band is wildly consistent in my opinion. They really never released a bad one except I wouldn't say it would be it's a bad album, Halo Blood, but it's not a good album. It's kind of like a Saint Anger almost. Number 3, Hate Crew Death Roll, usually people's favorite. I just prefer other albums over this one. It's got the newer sound to it. It's got stuff like Needle 24/7, the first song I listened to by this band. This is the first album I listened to by this band. So, yeah. 6 Pounder, Chokehold, Cocked and Loaded, Bodom, Beach Terror, kick-ass song right there. Angels Don't Kill, it's their slower song. That's probably their best slower song they ever did. Triple Corpse, Hammer Blow, You're Better Off Dead, Little Blood Red Riding Hood, and Hate Crew Death Roll. Fantastic title track. Yeah, this is the first album that I actually picked up a copy of from a store, so... Or no, Halo Blood was the one I picked up first, which... That was kind of a bummer when I picked that one up, but I picked this one up, I think, the same time as well, so I got to listen to this one right after, and I was like, I love this album. I like any of their albums, just I don't really go back to Halo Blood too often, and through this it was kind of a painstaking album to go through. Number 2, Hatebreeder, their second record. As you already know what number 1 is. Yeah, it starts off with a song called Warheart. It's Warheart, Silent Night, Bodom Night, Hatebreeder, Bed of Razors, Towards Dead End, Black Widow, Wrath Within, Children of Bodom, the actual namesake song, and Downfall. This is their neoclassical stuff. This is where they started hugely with the neoclassical, and yeah, it's definitely their one of their top albums. It's got, like, Warheart starts it off fantastic, man. And Silent Night, Bodom Night's awesome. Hatebreeder is awesome. And all the rest of the songs are awesome. There's nothing bad on this record, and it just rips all the way through. There's just no downtime with this album. I like every second of it. I also got the edition that has the screensaver and the wallpaper on it. So that's cool. It's got the photo gallery. It's a cool look at this age of Children of Bodom. It's a good look back on the old times of this band. And we go to number 1. My favorite Children of Bodom album, Fall the Reaper, definitely. First, when I got into this band, I didn't like this album. I thought it was kind of like a drop off for them, but now, since going back and listening to Children of Bodom over the last few years, this album is the one that sticks with me more often. Just think of that opening hard-hitting riffs that they have in Fall the Reaper. That just gets it started with how insane this album is, with how technical it is. Bodom After Midnight, Children of Decadence, another one that's pretty good. Every Time I Die, classic. Mask of Sanity, Taste of My Scythe, Hate Me, I Don't Give a Fuck If You Hate Me. Northern Comfort and Kissing the Shadows. Every second of this album needs to be savored. Every time you listen to this album, it just never gets old. It's probably their most timeless album. It's also the Blue album. Yeah, the cover art, everything about this album is fantastic. What's there not to like about Follow the Reaper? It's definitely their best album. There's no comparison to it. I really never go back and forth between Hatebreeder and Follow the Reaper. They've never done an album like Follow the Reaper, ever. ever besides Fall the Reaper. That's the only time they've ever done an album like this. Yeah, the title track is my favorite song by Children of Bodom, definitely. So, that's where I'm going to end the video. Hope you guys liked it. You guys liked my reflection upon Children of Bodom, one of the greatest bands that ever existed. Very upsetting, the news we got in the start of the year. It hit me hard because he was the reason why I picked up guitar in the first place, and kind of gave me a kick in the ass to get into other music in the scene further on in the extreme part. So yeah, I got into this band by listening to Megadeth, Spotify recommendation back when I was in middle school, I think it was. And I've been hooked ever since to this band. And it hurt. It hurt really bad when I learned that Alexi passed away earlier this year. It was a hard-hitting thing for me. It's like he was more of an inspiration to me to write guitar. His riffs were fantastic. I wish I got to see them in concert. I really never had the chance to. They never really came to my town. Yeah, I wish they did. I really did wish they did, and I got to see them. So that's where I'm gonna end the video. This video is dedicated to his memory, definitely. But he's one of the best guitar. He's a guitar god, definitely one of the best guitarists that ever lived. So next time we're gonna be ranking Amaranth's albums. Stay tuned for that one. I'm planning on doing some maybe album reviews in the next couple of days. I'm gonna end the video now. I don't really have an outro because I always do my outro and then think of something else. So I'm gonna end it here. Screw this.